Today we're gonna do this one here. So first I'm gonna open a reference picture, so image and reference. And once you have it in your scene, just press Alt and R to reset the rotation. Go to 7 and let's scale it up quite a bit. And also let's bring the opacity down here to about here is good. And make it bigger. And let's open a plane, Shift A plane. Let's rotate it by 90 degrees, so R, Y and 90. And let's make it bigger. And S and X to about here. Or let's match the reference picture. So S and Y until to this line here. And also this line has to come to about here is good, to this line here. And now we can make it a bit smaller, like this. So this is the wall. And then we're gonna add 2 loop cuts. So 2 here. And let's select this one and go to top view and G and X to move it to about here. And also the other one. So G and X to about here. And let's bevel these edges, so Ctrl B and scroll up. So about here is good, until it matches quite a bit. And what we can do now is select everything and Shift D and move it over to about here. And let's select this edge here and press E and X to about here. And also the other one, E and X to about here. And now we have to extrude them downwards, so E and Z. And then just select these 2 edges here and press F to fill it, and then this one here. And then just press F multiple times until you reach the end. But not this one here, so this shouldn't be filled. So like this. And now what we can do is create these balconies up here. So I'm gonna press 3 or go up here for face select mode. And let's select these faces here. Press Shift D and GZ to move it up. And then press E and Z to move them up to about here is good. Delete these faces up here. Make 2 loop cuts here. And press S and Z. And let's also create loop cuts here. So maybe around, so it matches the other one on the side you see. So about 12 cuts. 12 cuts is fine. Also make 2 cuts, a couple of cuts here, like 3. And let's select these faces by pressing face mode. And C to circle select, select all of them. But not the upper ones, just the middle ones, like this. Once you have all of them selected, you're gonna press X and, or not the last one. And we're gonna press X and only faces. And now we have these lines, press 2 and select one and press Shift G and similar length. We can deselect the other ones here, the back. And also these ones here, we don't need them. And then we're gonna press P by selection. Now we have a separate object. And what we can do now is right click, convert to curve. We can make a bevel maybe like this. You can make them round, or you can make them like this. And we also have to give a little bit thickness to this object here. So we can press 3 and press L to select this and make P separate by selection like this. And now we can give it some thickness, so select everything, press Alt and E to extrude faces along normals like this. And we're gonna move it a little bit inwards so we have a little bit thickness. Let me turn on the cavity so I can see it better. So it looks like this right here. And what we can do now is shade them smooth first. And they stick out a bit, so let's move them inwards. Press S and move them in like this. And now we can make the middle line here. Select this balcony and make a loop cut in the middle. P, separate by selection, then select it. Select everything and then deselect this line down here by pressing C and then just deselect it. Then we're gonna delete the rest of these edges, so X and edges. And now we have this edge here. Go to edit mode, press A for everything, and then let's move it up by G and Z like this. And we convert it to a curve, convert to curve. Go down here by bevel and make it bigger like this, and shade smooth, auto smooth, and this also auto smooth. Let's create this one here, this object. So we're gonna select our building and press edit mode, tab, and what we're gonna do is select these edges here by pressing one edge and go to your edge mode. Select this one edge, hold both keys, Ctrl and Shift, and select the other one, and then just press P to separate by selection and select this edge. Press A and then E and Z. And let's move it up here until it reaches this line here. What we can do is select one of these edges and go Shift and S and cursor to select it. And then you press your period, or you can also go up here and change it to 3D cursor. And then we select this one here and this edge here and press S and Z and 0. And then it lines perfectly with this upper balcony here. And what we can do now is create these holes and everything. So we can press slash key, or you can go up here by view and local view, toggle local view. And now we can go to object mode and make 2 loop cuts by Ctrl and R and scroll with your mouse wheel. And S and Z, or you have to change it back to median point. And S and Z to move it up. And let's select this by pressing Alt and click it and press G and Z. We make this a bit higher. We can make this a bit higher, like G and Z, to about here. And what we can do now is go 3 to face select mode. And let's select these faces by pressing C. Let's press I and I again, so you can change it. And let's make it like this, and you can hold Shift so you have more control, and press X to delete these faces here. So it's gonna look like this. And we also have to give it some thickness, so tap edit mode, select everything, and then Alt and E, extrude faces along normals and bring them inwards a bit so we have more thickness. And go back, and now it should look like this. And don't forget to auto smooth it. And what you can do next is these windows here. So let's go back and select the building, go to edit mode, and let's make a couple of more loop cuts here by pressing Ctrl R and scroll up with your mouse wheel, and let's match it to the auto cuts. I think 5 should be good. Let's go to edit mode and let's press 3 and let's select these windows here by pressing C. To about here is fine. Let's go back, pressing slash. This is a bit too much, so maybe I think this is good. So let's go back to slash and we can make 2 loop cuts. Let's bring this down by pressing G and Z. And also this one, press Alt and click it and press G and Z to move it down. Let's go back to match it. G and Z bit, and this should be fine. So we can go back and press 3, face select, and let's select all these faces here, but not the last one. And let's press again I and I to about here, and then press X and delete faces. And then we have it like this. And what we have to do is add some thickness to this building. So let's select everything, press Alt E, extrude faces along normals, and let's move it out a bit like this. You can also make these windows a bit bigger if you want, but I think that's good. What we can do is add these pillars now, so we can see them here, these round circles. So we're gonna press Shift and right click, so we can move the 3D cursor here. Press Shift A and add a cylinder. Go to edit mode and press S and Shift and Z, so you can make it thinner to about here. And we also have to move this building, so let's select our balconies and the building. So let's go to 7, edit mode, and press 1, and let's select these edges here and just move it to about here, to this line, and also just rotate it. And let's make a loop cut, and we have to extrude them again, so E and just G and R, and let's move it to about here, and E, right click and G to move it, and E again, right click, G to move it, and R to rotate it, and again E and G and R to rotate it like this, so it should match the reference picture. Okay, now what we're gonna do is tap out of edit mode, save it, don't forget it, and let's continue with the pillars, so G and Z. Go to X-ray mode by pressing Alt and Z, and let's just go to C, circle the, and press G and Z to move them upwards. X-ray mode and G and Z. We forgot to select this one here, but it's fine. So you can just select it and press 7 and G, and then just align it, and we can shade everything smooth, auto smooth. Go to edit mode and select this one here, and let's add 2 loop cuts like this, and S and Z. Select this by pressing Alt and click it, and G and Z to about here, and the other one is fine. So let's select this edge here by pressing face select mode and Alt and click it, and press E and then right click to let it go, and press S and Shift and Z, so we move it along the Y and X axis like this. This should be good, and the other one as well, and then E again, right click, S and Shift and Z like this, and let's select the first pillar and Shift D and place them. Lastly, we can create the water. Select your building and select this edge here, and Shift S, cursor to select it, and add a plane. Move it up, go to 7, and let's rotate it. Make it bigger, and let's just extrude it. Let's go to edit mode, select this edge here, and let's extrude this edge and go to X-ray mode and just E and follow this line here. Until here. And now we have this water here. R and Z to move it here. You have to make some windows up here too. So let's go to edit mode. So press this face and then go to the last one and press Ctrl and Shift and X, delete faces. And then we can make some windows here. So let's add a loop cut up here. Also, we don't need this one here, so we can also select this one. So go 3, face select, and go to the last one and Ctrl and Shift and X faces. And we have to make another loop cut down here like this. And let's again 3 and let's delete these faces here by holding Ctrl and Shift. X faces like this. Now light can come through, and we also have to make this a bit smaller. So let's press L, so we have this balcony here. Press P, selection, and we can select this face here and just move it down. So G and Z, just a little bit, and then go to edit mode to create a ceiling. So to edge select, and let's select this edge and the other one like this. Press F to fill them, and then just P selection, and then we have the ceiling here. You can name it by pressing F2 and then name it to ceiling. Yeah, and that's pretty much it. And now we have to make materials. So let's go down here, or you can go to shading editor if you like, and let's move to here, to this button here, and let's select water and press new, and let's delete this principled shader and press Shift A and add a glass shader, a glass BSDF. Plug it to surface and a transparent, and plug it to volume. And let's also add a noise texture and a bump, and plug the bump to normal of the glass, and also plug the noise texture color to height. And now it should look like this. And don't forget to press Ctrl A and scale your water. And now we can, and also change the IOR to 1.323 like this, so it looks like water. And let's also change the color to something more bluish. And you can increase the waves, make it smaller like this if you like, and decrease the strength a bit. So I think like this is fine. And now let's go to the tiles. So here and new, click the building, press new. And then what you're gonna do is go to edit, preferences, and go to add-ons and search for Node Wrangler. You don't have to download it, it's already in Blender, so just click this and go to save preferences. And what you're gonna do is press the principled BSDF and press Ctrl, Shift and T, and then you can select your tiles. The tiles are in the description if you want to use them, or you can use whichever you like. So we're gonna select all of them by pressing Shift and then just apply them like this. And what you're gonna do is go to displacement and just decrease the scale to 0.1. Press Ctrl A, apply the scale, and then go to edit mode, select everything and press U, unwrap, and U, cube projection. And then we're gonna just make the tiles a bit smaller, like maybe 50 or 50 is fine, I think. You can also press edit mode, select everything and Shift N if your tiles look weird. So like this. And what you can do I think it's maybe a bit too shiny, so we can change that, and also the color. So let's add a color ramp. And you can make it a bit more so you can see the lines a bit better. So if you make it more black like this, and also the same for the roughness. So let's just copy this, Shift D, and apply it here. So for the roughness, if you increase the whiteness a bit, it's more rougher, as you can see. So we can just move this a bit closer, so it looks like this. And we can also decrease the brightness a bit of the world so we can see something. And we can apply them to the pillars as well. Let's name it tiles. Click the tile and select it. And press Ctrl A to apply the scale for each pillar. So Ctrl A, scale and scale. Go to tab and press A for everything, and U and cube projection. And as you can see, it's pretty small, so what we can do is make a copy and name it tiles pillars. And then we can make them a bit bigger, maybe 30 or even 20. Or maybe 10 is better. I think 10 is good. So you can leave it at that. And then look pretty bumpy, so we can increase it even more by 0.001. I think this is good. Also the other one, 0.001. This looks much better. And then what you can do is select all of these pillars by holding Shift and the last one, which we applied the textures, and press Ctrl and L to link the materials like this. And now they should have it applied, but you have to unwrap it with each pillar. So press Edit Mode, A, and then Unwrap and Cube Projection with each pillar. Like this. And the balconies should have the tiles too, so let's apply them. And press A, Edit Mode, A, and U, Unwrap, and U again, and Cube Projection. So it should look like this. And the other one as well. Tiles, and A, U, Unwrap, and Cube Projection. And these small ones, you can just leave them like this. That's pretty much it for the textures. And now we have to do the lighting, so let's go back and let's go to material preview and let's look again how it looks. And we forgot this one here in the ceiling, so let's go back to shading and let's select it and select the tiles, and also Ctrl A to apply the scale, and U, Unwrap, and Cube Projection. And just you can see it's pretty small. You can either leave it or make maybe the pillars so it looks bigger. And also for the ceiling, same process. So click the ceiling and tiles and A, U, Unwrap, and Cube Projection. And that's pretty much it. We can also bring the ceiling a bit more down, so to maybe about here, so it matches this balcony here. And let's play around with the lighting. So I'm gonna add the sun, Shift A, light and sun, and move it over a bit. I'm rendering in cycles. I think it looks the best and most natural. So I'm gonna press this button here. As you can see, it's pretty dark, so we have to adjust the sun. So let's rotate it a bit. As you can see, we have more light coming through, and R and Z to about here. And we also have to add a HDRI. So let's go to this world and let's press this yellow button here and go to environment texture, and let's open a HDRI. And the HDRI is in the description. I used Cape Hill, I think because there's sun. And let's go back. As you can see, it's more yellowish. And let's decrease the strength a bit. So the color of the sun is FF 7 A and 00. Let's see it. The world strength, let's put it down to maybe 0.7 maybe. You can choose whatever you like. I think 0.7 is good, or 0.8 even, so it is not that dark. Or let's put a 0.7. And what we have to do is set up a camera first, so Shift A, camera, and let's put it up and here, and press Alt and R to reset the rotation, and then R and X 90. So it's 90 degrees, and then let's put it here somewhere, and then press Ctrl and 0. At whatever platform you use, you can change the ratio here. So for Instagram, you can use 1080. Here I think I use the same, and we can go to rendered view and press T to hide this menu and open a new window up here. So just drag it like this. And what you can also do is press Ctrl B and drag this here. So we can just see this section here. So we can't see this balcony, so we have to maybe rotate the camera. So RX, move it up a bit like this, and move it up. RX, just adjusting until everything is in the picture. Or you can even move it a bit down, everything like this one and this. Or let's first move the building and this little one here, and press tab and X-ray mode, and press 1 or 3, and let's just select this one here, go out of X-ray mode, and let's just bring them a bit down, so G and Z, to about maybe like this is enough. And now the balconies, and G and Z, until it matches this one here, like this. And the pillars also, so select everything, and then edit mode, X-ray mode, and then 1, and then just select all the top parts and bring them down. And now we also have to move the ceiling, so G and Z, and move this down. And for the camera, you can change the focal length to a bit something smaller, so you can see everything better. So drag this a little bit out, like this. And now we can see it better, like this. And also the water, we can change it a bit. So let's change it to shader editor. And let's change the color, maybe a bit more saturated. Something like this is good. And the waves a bit. Strength. It looks a bit greenish, so you can move it a little bit to the right direction, and then it looks more blue color. You can also disable the overlay so you can see it better. And what we can do is move the sun a bit, so rotate it a bit until you have something you like by pressing R twice, and change pivot point, median point, and we can press R double, and let's just see what fits for you, what you like. Maybe something like this or like this. And also what you have to do is change the HDRI, the rotation of the HDRI. So you can go here to change this to world and press N to hide this window and click this node and press Ctrl T to open the node wrangler. And then we can just move it on the Z axis. Here you can see it changes. And because you can see it, you have to change the shader editor here. And then just look in the direction where the windows are. So in this direction, the sun have to be here. So just rotate it until you see the sun. I think this looks pretty cool, or you can move it a bit more until you have something you like. We can also make the world a bit brighter if it's too dark. Something like maybe 1 is also good. This looks much better, I think. And what you can also add is a chair. So you can add a chair here. And we can also move the pillars a bit so we can see it better. So more on the edge here. You can go to File and Import and go to Wavefront OBJ and just search for your object. And then you open it and you can just move it over and make it a bit smaller. It's too big. And like this. Just place it and it shouldn't float and also not be in the ground. So like this is good. And you can see it here. So you can place it wherever you like. And press R and Z to rotate it a bit. You can just press F12 to render it. I can also show you my render settings, so cycles, and use GPU compute. And the noise threshold should be 0.01. It looks the best. And for the samples, you can choose maybe 300 or 200. And denoise, I have this one here. You can use GPU, and quality should be high. And for the lights, you can turn the light tree off. And for the advanced, you can check this little clock here, so it should be faster. For the light path, you can just enter 8. I think it's enough. Also for the transmission. What you can also do is go to performance and use tiling if you want, 512. And use spatial splits. And also use compact BVH. And persistent data, then it should be faster to render. And for the color management, I also have it on AGX, or you can use Filmic if you like. And it looks a bit more yellowish. I think AGX looks the best. And for the look, I have a very high contrast, so it looks very nice. If you have it to none, I think it looks more like this aesthetic. It's also not bad, but I think very high contrast looks the best. So you don't have to, in compositing, you don't have to add an extra contrast. You can go to film, and for the pixel filter you can choose 1 pixel. It looks better, I think. Oh, and what I noticed, we have not moved this down, so let's move this down a bit. And GZ, and also this one here, GZ. And now it should be fine. And what you can do after you rendered your image, you can just go to pixelr.com and go to this picture editor, and you can just open a new picture and the one you just rendered. Then you can just open it and go to settings, and then you can just tweak everything here, like color and more saturated a bit, and temperature you can make it more different, more colder, if you don't like it to be too warm, or yeah, however you like, and tweaking a bit here and there until it looks fine. And what I think is the most important, if you go to details, you can go here to smooth. Here it's in German, but if it's in English it's smooth, and you can just increase it until everything looks more smoother and not so edged, like here like the tiles look a bit better. Maybe it looks too blurry, so let's put it a bit down. And you can make the glamour a bit up and bloom maybe. yeah guys, that's pretty much it, and I hope it could help you a bit and you had fun with this tutorial, and I see you in the next one. Thanks for watching guys, bye.